Koiki Media Live as we continue our broadcast and as we continue to educate our people. It is quite important that we also continue to monitor as many developments of those who are actually against our fathers and those that we call our leaders. So I welcome us into this particular broadcast. Today is the 21st day of the month of May 2025. Coming into the Koiki Media studio, I would like to say a very good afternoon and welcome. As you're coming into the broadcast, please do let us share the program and invite others to join us as well so that we can be able to go through the program together on this particular channel. My name is Olayomi Koiki, also the spokesman for Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, a Yoruba nation campaigner, and also a believer of freedom of the Yoruba people from the current state of the Nigeria that we are today. There's a particular article that we've come across that I am going to be responding to in the course of the program this afternoon. So I want each and every one of us, as you're coming in, to please sit back and also let us tell you, while many that continue to ask the question, why is Sunday Igboho free? We'll be telling you all you need to know because Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, as many of you know, is currently on exile. And many people continue to ask, if Igboho is a free man, why then is he not currently living in Nigeria, in Yoruba land? This is what I will be discussing this afternoon on a particular article that I have come across. And this particular article is asking the same question millions of Nigerians continue to ask. So it is important to put this on record. And that is why I am going to be speaking in English in this particular broadcast so that I can respond to not just this individual that we have come across this article, but also to many of such that always assume or believe that since President Bola Tinubu is currently the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as a Yoruba man, he has actually put a favor to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho due to what the previous administration has done. But we know that this is not the case. And this is why this particular broadcast will be addressing all that gray area. So I want you to please come along with me and do share the program. It is very, very highly important that we do so. As this program is coming on air on our television, please remember that we also want the program to reach in and every part of Nigeria, especially to a particular individual that is known as the former director in President Bola Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council, and also the former member of the Police Service Commission, known as Ajia Najatu Muhammad, another evil woman that wants to destroy the image and the good work of somebody like Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho. So I want this broadcast to reach to this evil woman that I will be telling you a little bit more. As we know what they do, most of them are politician prostitute. And Ajia Najatu Muhammad, another politician prostitute, I will be responding to her with an article that was released on her behalf, which says, if Sunday Igboho could be walking free, while is Nnamdi Kanu still in the detention? I'll be explaining all these and why it is important that many of such politician prostitute, like Ajia, as she's known, will also have to understand that Igboho is not a criminal and Igboho has not committed any crime in the first place, but yet Igboho has been put into a situation where he cannot return back to his homeland. So as we about to kickstart, please share the program. But for the start, let's go straight to the Yoruba anthem. And then when I come back, we will kickstart and addressing all these issues surrounding these politician prostitute known as Ajia Najatu Muhammad, a former director in President Bola Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council and a former member of the Police Service Commission that has called Igboho to be a free man, yet Nnamdi Kanu is in the detention. Igboho hasn't committed any offense, like I said, but I'll be telling you all that. But for now, let's listen to the Yoruba Nation anthem. Once again, a very good afternoon and welcome to everyone that have joined us on this particular broadcast from the Koiki Media studio. In the couple of minutes, my attention has been drawn to a particular article that I would like to address. This is the 21st of May, 2025, on the Koiki Media studio, where as the spokesman of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, my attention has been drawn to a particular article that has been written to tarnish the image of a Yoruba son, and also one of the most important member of the Yoruba nation self-determination struggle. And that is in the person of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho, popularly known as Sunday Igboho, aka Igboho'S. I will be reading the article, and then I will also now be addressing each and every part of the article for the benefit of many of you that are watching and those that would help us to send the message back to the prostitute and other many members of a criminal APC, as known as the former Presidential Campaign Council of Tinubu, and likewise the former Police Service Commission known as Ajia Najatu Muhammad. Why do we need to address this? Is because if we leave this without addressing it, future to come, many people would eventually believe the lies of these individuals as they try to tarnish the image of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. I have just spoken to Chief just about a few minutes before coming on live, and I've also made him known that we will not sit back and allow his image to be tarnished while he has not committed any crime within Nigeria and outside the shore of Nigeria. So please, if you ever come across the audio or the video and you are a friend to this criminal woman, as we know many of them are politician prostitutes, please do let her know that whatever she tried to do to tarnish the image of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, we will not sit back without addressing such. It is not the first time, and it will not be the last, that we have seen many people that have tried, due to the fact that Igboho refused to bow down to the criminal politicians. He has refused to be bought either by the previous administration or the present administration. Igboho has remained firm with his quest that the Yoruba people needs to be free from the shackles and the bondage of a country that Britain created in 1914 called Nigeria. So what Najatu has done is to try to link and say, why is Sunday Igboho a free man and Nnamdi Kanu is still in the detention? The question is, these are two different individuals. They might have maybe the same fight that they are fighting for, but Igboho is not fighting the Fulanis. Rather, the Fulanis have decided to brought in war into the southwest part of Nigeria. Igboho is a Yoruba man, but first and foremost, let me address the article that was put together by these criminal politicians known as Najatu Muhammad, Ajia Najatu Muhammad. I'm not sure where she got the Ajia from. We know how most of them have operated in Nigeria. Most of them, including are prostitutes to politicians, and they've used that, to camouflage their real human in them. The article headline says, and I quote, if Igboho could be walking free, or if Igboho could walk free while Kanu is kept in detention, what message does that send? Najatu Muhammad, a former director in the President Bola Tinubu's Presidential Campaign Council, and She's also a former member of the Police Service Commission and also as a former member of a prostitute. And also, as we know, most of them are ringleaders to take away innocent young girls out of Nigeria for prostitution across the globe. This is what they do. This is what they're good at. But let's come back to the article itself. From what we know, Ajia Najatu Mohammed says that President Bola Tinubu had sidelined the North in favor claim while speaking on a pap show, which is hosted by Adiza Malufashi in Abuja, the Federal Capital Territory. Najatu, who currently chairs the Northern Star Foundation, a non-governmental organization dedicated to empowering youth in northern Nigeria, was said to have explained that she accepted a role in the campaign not out of genuine political conviction, but due to repeat pleas that were made to her. Najatu Mohammed was reported to have alleged that President Bola Tinubu's approach to governance at the federal level closely resembled the way he had maintained political dominance over Lagos State since 1999. She was said to have argued that despite leaving office as governor, Tinubu had continued to exert a significant influence over the state political structure. In addition, she was reported to have raised concerns over what she described as disparity. I wanted to take note of that word. I'll be explaining the meaning later on. In the federal government treatment of separatist figures, questioning while there had been silence regarding the secession activities of Sunday Igboho, while Nnamdi Kanu remained in a prolonged detention. She said, and I quote, "If Sunday Igboho could walk free while Kanu is kept in detention, what does that send with a question mark?" I'll be explaining everything after the article has been fully read. Najatu warned that the country's foundation was being eroded under Tinubu's watch, urging citizens to demand more inclusive and visionary leadership. Governance should be about the welfare and security of all Nigerians, not a few. Sadly, that is not what we are saying today, she said. Now that I've given you the bit of background to what Najatu have said, I will now dive into why it is important that we respond to all these criminal politicians that wants to damage and destroy the image of Sunday Igboho. We will not sit back and allow prostitute and those that have created part of the problem from Buhari up to Tinubu to try to destroy the image of Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. First and foremost, for the benefit of those that might probably have never heard about who Sunday Igboho is, it is important that I remind you that Sunday Igboho is a Yoruba man. But apart from being a Yoruba man, he has played a lot of significant role, regardless of whatever you call him. Some call him somebody that doesn't have the education to lead a kind of a movement that we are currently running under the leadership of Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Some have argued that Sunday Igboho was also a thug that worked as a politician in the past. All kind of names have been portrayed against Sunday Igboho, and we know that all these is for a reason, and that is why I'll be telling you everything that we need to know in this particular special broadcast again. As we know from many that have talked about Sunday Igboho, is a name that has become global, not just within Africa, but also internationally. If you happen to do a quick search on who is Chief Sunday Igboho, you're likely to come across multiple videos, multiple articles, and multiple blogs. But some of them, probably for their own selfish interest, portray Chief Sunday Igboho with all kinds of names. But one thing I can tell you that many have never had before, which would be the first privilege today, is that first and foremost, Igboho is not just any name anymore. It has now become a name that can free the Yoruba people from the current bondage of the British 1914 fraudulent amalgamation. And that means Igboho is a name that many are scared and many are concerned that he might be the one to bring down the structure of a fraudulent amalgamation that Britain created to join the Yoruba, the Igbos, the Hausas, and force those that are known as the Fulani against each and every one of us. One thing I want us to remember is that Igboho is not fighting for himself. Igboho is actually fighting for the 60 million Yoruba people that are currently trapped in what is known as the fraudulent amalgamation that Britain put together. And as a spokesman, I can assure you that we monitor almost everything that comes across his name, especially those that are using his name for fraudulent reasons, those that have taken advantage of his name and have used it for their own selfish gain, and those that also wants to tarnish the image of Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo, popularly known as Sunday Igboho. But while all this is happening, the question in the lips of many is that who actually is Igboho, and why is the Sultan of Sokoto and the whole Fulani within Africa, and those of them that are managed to be well educated a little bit in Europe and America are after this man? Is because Igboho has now become the stoppage of the Fulani invasion into Yoruba land. Many, like Najatu, another Fulani prostitute, that is now comparing Chief Sunday Igboho that is free while Kanu is currently being held in a detention. We are not here to defend whatever she has said regarding Tinubu, because Tinubu is doing the same thing like what Buhari did for 8 years. I'll be addressing that. While I am here is to address Najatu Mohammed about what she said, that Igboho is free while Nnamdi Kanu is held in the detention. Two different cases, two different personality, two different individuals. We know what led to Nnamdi Kanu's being held by the government after he was kidnapped by Yemi Osinbajo, that was meant to know better, even if Buhari is not a learned person, because we know Buhari is not well educated. But somebody like the former presidential the former president, vice president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Yemi Osinbajo, senior advocate of Nigeria, you would expect him to know better by not going through a kidnap situation of Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria. If Nnamdi Kanu is wanted in Nigeria for whatever reason, the normal procedure for the government to do was to look into the extradition of him by first applying to Kenya, where Kanu was residing as at the time. Just as the federal government, as we know, the Attorney General of the Federation could not just kidnap Simon Ekpa from Finland and bring him back to Nigeria. So I want us to look at those as something that has nothing to do with Igboho. It has to do with the federal government of the previous administration of Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo. So when the argument is sitting on the table that Igboho is a free man, and I hear this from many stupid, gullible Nigerians that are not learned, and those that say they are learned always try to pay that Igboho is a free man and Igboho is walking across the globe even though he has committed a crime. Yet, we do not know the crime he has committed. I have the privilege this afternoon. I have been telling us that I have a particular document that many of you have never had the privilege to have before. And this is going to allow me, after Igboho has given me the authority, to read it out to all that keen to know and all that probably doesn't want to know, that if you continue to argue blindly because of your hatred to this Yoruba man that have become the stoppage of the Fulani invasion into Yoruba land today, and not just that, because not just about the insecurity, as some have argued that Igboho was fighting for just the insecurity until we influence him to the self-determination campaign. Igboho is not a child, at least somebody that was born in 1970, October, is a man that can decide whether he wants to just fight the Fulani that are destroying and killing us, or somebody that now wants Yoruba people to be free from the 1914 amalgamation after he has been briefed by Professor Adebanji Akintoye, and he decided that rather than becoming or still working rather with the politicians of today that are greedy, corrupt, that Igboho knows very well, Igboho decided to stop being part of the current and the previous political situation in Nigeria. And that has become a big concern because we know how the politicians operate in Nigeria. Most of the politicians need somebody like Igboho to be on their side. So that way they can intimidate, they can attack, and they can take away the right of the people away from them. And Igboho has not been able to achieve that with them, even while he was working with the former governor Ladoja. As we know, Igboho was a very honest man. Igboho, yes, played his role as a security operative for Ladoja, but because of the injustice that many wanted to do, Igboho did not allow such to happen for the 10 years of his life in Ibadan. And that means Igboho was well known across Nigeria by many people that love his boldness and his loyalty, his humble, his humanitarian services across different parts of Yoruba land. Until date, we have not yet seen anyone that can come out and say Igboho has committed a crime against him or her. And that shows that the same record that has now been investigated by the European Union, and I'll be reading that to you for the very first time since Igboho has given me the go-ahead to read this particular article, what we can call a background search on Igboho. If Igboho was a criminal, he would have been stopped many times while he was moving from point A to B. But Najatu, as we know, is working for the Fulani devilish Sultan of Sokoto. And we know how this happened. We saw that in the last couple of days, we have been seeing visitation to the devilish Shaitan of Sokoto that says he lives in Sokoto, even though we know that he's also working in agenda to destroy Igboho. So by using a woman of such prostitute to come out and tarnish the image of Igboho, we are here to respond back to these criminal, evil Fulanis, that whatever you're trying to do to destroy the image of the most important Yoruba man in the history of Yoruba people that stood against Buhari's government. Buhari requested the late Alaafin to give him the chance to pick Igboho from the palace. Alaafin refused. I was not told this. I was right there when Alaafin, the late Alaafin, told myself and Igboho that Buhari, a Fulani man that is also working in agenda of the Utmandan Fodio, that I would love to pick Igboho right from the palace. We know what happened. The late Alaafin refused to do such. Coming back to, again, what Najatu says, I'm not going to respond to his attack on Tinubu yet, because whatever Tinubu is doing, the nepotism Tinubu is doing, Buhari did more than that. The debt ratio between Tinubu and Buhari can be still compared, even though we know that many Yoruba people have died in the process of Tinubu being the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. But I want us to take note of some of these summary that I've been able to put together before I go back to the European Union article on Dr. Chief Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. Buhari brought Fulani into Nigeria. We know that it's not just Buhari. We know that Tinubu and the rest of them and El-Rufai were also working together, but Buhari masterminded this. So if Najatu is talking about Igboho that is a free man, I believe Najatu should ask why there's so much influx of Fulani that Igboho was against. Even the late governor of Ondo State, Akeredolu, was a staunch man against the Fulani invasion in Ondo State that were used to promote terrorism and the killings of innocent Yoruba people across, the Southwest. So we should tell these prostitute women, or women rather, that she should go back to Castina and ask why Buhari allowed Fulani into Nigeria, and again, why Buhari collapsed Nigeria economy, and we know that Tinubu to do anything with the current economy since Buhari destroyed that economy. Buhari is behind the death of millions of Nigerians. We can go on and on. From the Lee Shuaibu that is currently still missing as we speak today. She's spending, I believe, a 7th year in captivity. We know many Nigerians, whether Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, have died in the hands of a Buhari Fulani government. And I believe Najatu might want to address such rather than asking why Igboho is a free man today. Buhari sent killers, machineries, to Igboho's house. Igboho escaped, just as Nnamdi Kanu also escaped in 2017 when Buhari wanted to kill him so that the quest and their right to self-determination will be quashed completely. Nnamdi Kanu escaped, Igboho also escaped, but the difference is that Buhari thought that he could use the same method that they did with Nnamdi Kanu in Kenya to bring back Igboho from Benin Republic. But what Buhari failed to understand that Benin Republic is still a Yoruba land, and whatever you might think, the government of President Patrick Talon, that has also gone through a similar situation, knew very well that Igboho did not commit any crime in Benin Republic. Until date, Igboho has lived peacefully, law-abiding, with a safe passage to travel in and out of Benin Republic, as much as Babakitoye has also lived peacefully and law-abiding. But we know, as I speak to you right now, the breaking news is coming that Benin Republic has now blocked the waterway trade route that link Ogun State amid Fulani herdsmen, Fulani terrorists, and arms smuggling into Benin Republic. Last week, we heard about the Kwara border that was also closed. I am speaking now that in the last couple of hours before coming on air, Benin Republic has also now blocked the waterway trade route. I'll come back to that. The focus point is addressing these prostitute women, another Fulani agenda to attack the credibility of Chief Sunday Igboho that he is a criminal and he should not be walking free. But I can say to you, Igboho is not a criminal because that has been investigated by the European Union. Now, let's go back again to what we know of some of the attacks that has happened in the course of many atrocity within and outside Nigeria by the Fulanis. Fulani has committed so much crime, and their crime continue on a daily basis. I don't need to be telling you what part of Nigeria is under attack. Every part of Nigeria is under a serious attack. Yet, Buhari did 8 years and added more to the problem. Rather than diffuse it, we knew Buhari opened the porous border. Buhari wanted to kill Igboho in the house, like I said earlier. This was on the 1st of July, 2021. Igboho escaped without any kind of, body harm on him. But unfortunately, we lost 2 Yoruba men, Alhaji Fatai, an uncle to Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho, and also the other one, Adogon, Alhaji Adogon, a close business associate that was spending the night in Igboho's house. These 2 people lost their lives because Buhari, the Fulani agenda, wanted to make sure that we take Igboho's out and Igboho will no longer be the one to be a threat for his clan. So what we are seeing right now is that as Igboho refused to be bribed, as Igboho refused to accept the truth that Fulani is not endangering our life, Igboho believe that the Fulani continue to endanger our life on a daily basis. Many gullible Nigerians have also believed that Igboho is a free man, yet Tinubu is in power. I will tell you that Igboho is not a free man because Tinubu has not done certain things that I've been explaining to you in the course of the program. We also know that not just the 2 innocent people were killed. The pet that Igboho kept in his house, the cat, were all killed and taken away with the hope that it will become human because of the information that they got that is Igboho's spiritual power. We also know that Buhari left Nigeria with a border that is porous. Many Fulani continue to invade every part of Nigeria today, and we've seen the atrocity and the killings that is taking place on a daily basis, and that has not stopped. This is what Igboho wanted to stop, and if Igboho refused to work with the politician, as he has done in the past, it is because he believed that humanity comes first before the criminal politicians that have not done the right thing for innocent Nigeria. So there's nothing wrong if Igboho has worked with politicians in the past. But what we have told many that are continuing to work with this same criminal politician is that you have the right to pull out and support your indigenous people that are suffering from their language, suffering from their culture, about to be destroyed by the Fulani agenda against us. But they refuse to, in the hope that they can be taking money from Tinubu and all the criminal activities that they still want to do by intimidating innocent Yoruba people. Because we know that Igboho has never intimidated innocent Nigerian people, not to talk about the Yorubas. Igboho has stand for justice, and that is what the European Union have been able to investigate around him as well. We also know that when we talk about those that come out all the time to attack Igboho and say that Igboho is a free man because Tinubu is in government, even some believe that the reason why Igboho was free from Benin Republic is because there was an influence of President Bola Tinubu. I can tell you categorically as a spokesman of Sunday Igboho that Tinubu has no influence at all, not one, not two, not three. Rather, it was against Igboho to be released from where he was inside the courtesy of Benin Republic, holding him for 2 years. Tinubu would love Igboho to still be held in Benin Republic, but unfortunately, Benin is not as a lawless country like Nigeria. Nigeria is a lawless country, and we saw that yesterday when an innocent 13-year-old was making his way to sit for his school. The West African Examination Council was shot dead, by the Nigerian police using the Nigeria same tax that was used to buy the weapon. It's not the first time that many Nigerians have been killed by police officers, but I just want to use this opportunity to put that on record. May the soul of this young boy rest in peace, and we hope that justice that will never serve would happen, because we know justice never happened in Nigeria, and many Nigerians still believe that there will be justice under Tinubu. You will not get a justice. Coming back to Tinubu and Igboho, as Igboho been favored by President Bola Tinubu is a question mark that many people would like to know. Many have questioned that why should Igboho be free? And Nnamdi Kanu continue to be held, even though we doesn't agree. Igboho has spoken very well on Nnamdi Kanu's case, that it should be released, but yet the government of Tinubu refused to listen. And currently we know that there's an ongoing court case that should never be, because you cannot kidnap somebody from another country and try him in Nigeria. But yet, the same Tinubu that ran out of Nigeria during Abacha days for his life, Nigerians are suffering the injustice under Tinubu. And it's almost the same thing that Igboho is suffering as well. So whenever you're talking about Tinubu and Igboho, I want you to remember this. Igboho's name is still wanted according to the DSS. That means that the wanted that was kept on his name, we have been able to quash it in the court of law in Benin Republic, because the federal government and the DSS could not provide a serious evidence to say that Igboho was trying to destroy Nigeria or was a criminal or was involved in terrorism. Yet, somebody like this criminal prostitute Fulani woman known as Ajia Najatu Muhammad is now trying to say that Igboho is free because Tinubu is the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yet, Igboho lives in Benin Republic and Germany, where the family reside. Currently, he's in Germany. I just spoke to him, like I said, before coming on air to run this particular live broadcast. Today is the 21st of May, 2025. This is Koiki Media, bringing the world closer to your doorstep as I'm responding back to an article that came to my limelight regarding Najatu Muhammad, a former director in President Bola Tinubu Presidential Campaign Council and a former member of the Police Service Commission, that says that Igboho could walk free while Nnamdi Kanu is still in detention. Yes, if Igboho was not walking free, who should be walking free when he hasn't committed crime in the first place? Rather than Najatu to question why Gumi and many criminal terrorists are invading the military barracks, killing innocent military personnel, destroying the livelihood of innocent Nigeria, she has decided to attack Igboho and play the same game by saying that Nnamdi Kanu, that Buhari himself kidnapped from Kenya, is in detention, and yet Igboho is currently being held as a free man. Even though we know Igboho did not and has not done anything to withdraw his freedom. His freedom was restricted for 2 years And after thorough investigation in Benin Republic, we saw the court case, we saw the back and forth, the protest, the rally around the world to continue to say that Igboho is not a criminal. The government of Benin Republic decided to free him and even give him the right to live in Benin Republic as much as he wants to. Now, let's go back to Tinubu and Igboho. Is it really true that Tinubu favors Igboho? The question is a very difficult one to shoot, but it's not to us. Let's look at the wanted that the former government labeled on Igboho that allowed Benin Republic to stop him. They can't do that anymore. If they try, we've been able to quash it because we have proof that that wanted is as useless as tissue paper in Africa, but they can still use it in Nigeria. And for that reason, Igboho has not gone to Nigeria. So if Tinubu was really honest, as many of you think he is, against Igboho and favor Igboho, the first thing is Igboho will be living in Ibadan in his Soka residence rather than living in Benin Republic. That is very, very inconvenient for him, but he has accepted his fate that is part of his journey today. So Igboho is living in Benin Republic because Tinubu refused to remove the DSS that came out in 2021 that Igboho was wanted. And for that reason, I will be reading back what the DSS said then, and whether in any part of Nigeria today, you can tell me if Igboho has now been, if Igboho's name has been removed as a wanted person. So if Tinubu, a Yoruba man, and many Nigerians say Igboho is a free man. Why is he free? Because Tinubu is in power. Let me tell you how it started last couple of years. July 2nd, a day after Igboho's house was invaded and almost when they wanted to kill him, he escaped it. These are some of the headlines that came out then. Vanguard newspaper, July 2nd, 2021. DSS declares Sunday Igboho wanted. This day, July 2nd, 2021, DSS made Igboho's house, even though we know that they left with many valuable things, but rather than show the valuable things, they were showing us weapons that they found in Igboho's house. And as we know, even Professor Wole Soyinka say, those are cock and bull story, because we know how Nigeria operates. You kill somebody, you put a weapon next to them and say they were almost going to kill you. That's exactly what they've done to the young man that lost the son in Ibadan. They said, well, he was running away and we wanted to shoot the tire, but rather than shoot the tire, the young boy was killed. Again, may so rest in peace. Remember, they did the same thing with Jumoke Oyeleke when Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu allowed the police to discharge a weapon to be used to kill an innocent Yoruba girl that even had nothing to do with the rally that was going on the 3rd of July. Let's come back to Sahara Reporter. Breaking: Nigeria Secret Police, DSS, arrested and detained. No, that's a different one entirely. The cable, DSS confirmed the raid on Igboho's house and declares him wanted. Let's look at the cable. What the DSS did was that they wanted to be sure that Igboho was killed. So it took hours and hours to come out to say that they raided Igboho's house. But something played out in July 2021. And I'm telling this to many Nigerians for your hatred against Igboho that warned you all, just as Nnamdi Kanu warned you, that your life is at risk. Many of you today cannot go back to your village. Many of you today cannot enjoy a normal basic life because you refuse to accept the truth by calling Igboho an illiterate man, by calling Igboho as the one that wanted to destabilize the government of Buhari, that also say that you don't want Tinubu to, Igboho doesn't want Tinubu to become the president. Tinubu has been the president for the last 2 years. It has become worse, and many innocent Yoruba people have lost their life. One of them is yesterday, because whatever happened in the state is also what should have been done to avoid such from the federal. So whatever the debt that is happening across Yoruba land, Tinubu will also be held responsible for each and all this debt. Now, let's read the article as we have it. The article was released just at late night after Igboho spoke to BBC Pidgin that he was alive, and he was able to narrate exactly what happened, how he was attacked, how they came to his house in the middle of the night and wanted to kill him. You can go to koikimedia.com, you will find all the pictures, and you can ask yourself, what kind of weapon was brought in? Even an herbalist from the Yoruba side was included in the mission to eliminate Igboho. If the government have successfully killed Igboho on the 1st of July, nobody would have come out from the DSS, and they would have kept quiet, and we could have been told he's an unknown soldier, just as the death of the late mother of Fela Anikulapo Kuti, may her soul rest in peace. Let's go further. The Department of State Service, and this is for this prostitute Najatu Muhammad. I hope you are listening, and I hope you are watching wherever you are in Nigeria, because we know that your agenda is not just for Igboho, it's against all Yoruba people as we are moving forward to leave Nigeria, either you like it or not. Nigeria will fall apart because Nigeria doesn't belong to Yoruba people. Nigeria doesn't belong to Hausa people. Fulani has invaded the Hausa kingdom in 1804, destroyed the Hausa kingdom, brought in their own sultan, which has been since the one as we have it today, known as the Shaitan of Sokoto. Peter Afunaya, well, the Department of the State of Service has launched a manhunt for Sunday Igboho. Why has Tinubu, the president, a Yoruba man, reversed this? If some of you are really honest by saying that Igboho is being favored by Tinubu, you know that Igboho is not favoring Tinubu, but because of your hatred for the truth and nothing but the truth, that Igboho remained the man that has stood his ground even after they wanted to bribe him off. Some of you have even said that it worked for Tinubu, and that's the reason why it keeps coming out to say Yoruba rally, Yoruba nation, even though up to date, nobody has given us evidence that this is where Igboho received the income from Tinubu, or this is the favor that he has received. I'll be telling you more, but let's go back to what played out in 2021 to remind Ajia, the prostitute Fulani woman, and many of you gullible Nigerians that have this hatred for Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho. Peter Afunaya, the DSS spokesman, said the security agency recovered illegal arms, including 7 AK-47 rifles and thousands of ammunition from Igboho's house. Let me explain that. Rather than Afunaya to say, our DSS invaded Igboho's house. They stole dollars, they stole euro, they stole pounds. They stole Rolex wristwatch, diamond stuff, wives that has many jewelries. We know how Yoruba women buy jewelries and save it in the house. Every jewelry was stolen from Igboho's house. Yet, none of this was presented to the international community with the hope that they can portray Igboho outside the world. Yet Igboho was able to visit number 10 Downing Street last year. If Igboho was a criminal, I was behind Al Babakitoye and the rest of the team made Igboho to be the front runner to deliver the most important letter that scared the shit out of the Fulanis, that called for the ambassador representing the UK in Abuja to question him about the letter Igboho delivered. Till date, even Tinubu has not had the privilege to visit number 10 Downing Street. You cannot just visit number 10 Downing Street. It's like going to White House. These are very, very important buildings. If you're a criminal, you will not be given the privilege. I will not give you all the nitty-gritty that led to Igboho getting to that particular building, because they've run what they call a security check on each and every one of us, including myself. that visited number 10 Downing Street last year, October, when we had a fantastic outing with the Yoruba Nation rally in London. And like I said, all sons and daughters of Yoruba, go and prepare yourself, fortify yourself, prepare, because the Yoruba Nation mega rally that the FULANIs doesn't want to happen in Yoruba land will go ahead as planned, and nothing has changed that, I can assure you that. Let's go back. The agency also paraded 13 supporters of the activists. Yes, Igboho had people that were living in his house. I can assure you that each and every one of the 13 has now regained their freedom. Some of them are still in a march. One of them had the privilege to be in the same prison with Nnamdi Kanu. And you might be asking, why should Nnamdi Kanu be in detention? Nnamdi Kanu shouldn't have been in detention in the first place if Buhari and Yemi Osinbajo has not gone ahead to kidnap him with the support and some of the criminal people that call themselves Igboho'S that released Nnamdi Kanu's information, because nobody knew that Nnamdi Kanu was in Kenya. So whoever knew Nnamdi Kanu's movement sold him out to the Fulanis, just as they wanted to sell Igboho to the Fulani. But that failed, and they are still upset. They are still angry. They are still in the bitterness that Igboho is again beating the drum with Baba Akintoye to rally around all Yoruba sons and daughters around the world that enough is enough. Nigeria will be de-amalgamated whether you like it or not. And this time around, you will not be able to go to his house and attack him because Igboho lives in Germany. And whatever Igboho is going to do, he can run the show from Germany. And that is why these individuals are coming out again to attack Igboho and portray him as whatever name and try to compare him with Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu has a case with the government. Igboho has a case with the government. But are this case justifiable with the influx of the Fulani terrorists? So whenever and ever you speak ills of Igboho, I want you to keep your dirty, stinking mouth, you bomb bastard, out of Igboho's name, because Igboho is not a criminal. You prostitute, and many of you stupid idiots that continue to call Igboho that is free under Tinubu's government. Now that I've given you the background story of how the Fulani invaded Igboho's house and used an Igbo man, Peter Afunaya, to release the press statement, we know what they do. They pick Yoruba, pick Igbo, and use them as a stooge while the Fulani control the show from behind the scene. Igboho, a non-Yoruba youth leader, has been agitating for the creation of Yoruba nation. There's nothing wrong in that. He hasn't committed a crime. That is not a crime within Nigeria. That is not a crime within Africa. But the Yorubas that are support of the current government were also using every means to make sure that Igboho will not be able to stop Tinubu as the president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Well, Tinubu has been the president, and many Yorubas that supported Tinubu are now crying out on a daily basis, even though they might not cry to you. But we know that they're crying because they refuse to listen to Professor Akintoye, that the only way out is for us to support Igboho, support the YSDM, support the Yoruba quest to freedom. And yet, many of them are losing their life. Many of them, their life have become worse ever since Tinubu came to power. I'll be telling you that. But what I'm comparing now is, as President Bola Tinubu favor Igboho since he came to power, rather than favor Igboho, Tinubu has shied away. Many people have spoken to Tinubu that I'm aware of with Igboho's case. And I can tell you what Tinubu says. He's not interested in Igboho's case. He just wants to run Nigeria, and that's exactly what he says. You are listening to this, and I'm telling you, many people have called Tinubu on Igboho's case, that Igboho has not committed a crime. Allow him to return back home. But since we know that Fulani is in charge, Tinubu is just another weak element in Nigeria running the show in the front, while Shaitan of Sokoto running the show from behind the scene in support of the British agenda to stick and keep Nigeria together, which Igboho doesn't want, which Baba Akintoye doesn't want, which all the millions of Yoruba people doesn't want. And that is why you must all go and prepare, because 2025 will be a year to remember as the Yoruba across everyone will be coming out for their mega rally that will be announced by Professor Adebanji Akintoye. Now that I've given you a brief of the DSS invasion, the next question is, if Tinubu is honest, and those of you that come out to say that Igboho'S account has been released, he's been telling lies and deceiving Yoruba people, I want you to prove that. And if you cannot prove that, you should remain quiet for the rest of your life, just as we know that Najatu is playing the Fulani game again, trying to use Igboho and Nnamdi Kanu to hit their head together. Igboho will still support Nnamdi Kanu regardless of whatever anybody say. I am the spokesman, and Igboho will not do anything because Igboho believe that Nnamdi Kanu's quest to self-determination must be respected, and kidnapping him from Kenya is not something that should have been done under international law. Let's go back again. Igboho's account is still frozen. Going to almost many years now, all his accounts are frozen as at the time that the former AGF, the Attorney General of the Federation, another Fulani man, we know how they operate. Malani was another AGF that was operating as at the time of Buhari government, and we know what he did. Rather than face the Abubakar Malami was born in 1967. All these are Fulani that have been able to manage to fix themselves across every part of Nigeria. Some of them are well read, like the current chairman of the APC. Ganduje is a Fulani man, and we know what the agenda is. Some of them are read, while the majority of them that are not read are what they call the jihadis. Those that are out now, being told us, they're telling us that they're going to Lagos State to cut the grass using Dangote. We know how this plays out. These are Fulanis that have an agenda to kill, destroy, and take Yoruba land from where it is. So we know that Buhari and Malami wanted to destroy Igboho by first taking out his account. When you do that, Igboho will not have what it takes. Igboho took Buhari to court. We won the case. 20 billion was allocated for the damage of Igboho's house, the property. Do you know what happened? The judge was not allowed to complete the case. AGF brought in another Fulani judge to overturn that. The question is, what has Tinubu done to this case? Rather than do something, if truly Tinubu was in favor of Igboho, according to what this criminal prostitute known as Ajia is saying, Tinubu will have allowed Igboho to be repaid back the 20 billion naira. As I speak to you today, no money has been paid to Igboho. Account of Igboho has been frozen. These are questions that you should be asking. Is Tinubu a Yoruba man? And even if Igboho was not in his, what I can call in support of Tinubu agenda in 2023, does that mean that Tinubu should be doing what he's doing right now? It shows that Tinubu has no interest, no special interest for the Yoruba people, because we've seen how many Yoruba people are crying and dying on a daily basis across every state today due to the incompetence of Tinubu himself. The next one is, Tinubu has refused to remove wanted from Igboho's name. The question is why? Because Tinubu doesn't want Igboho to return home so that he can continue to run the show on behalf of the Fulani agenda. Again, Tinubu have never for once favored Chief Dr. Sunday Igboho. So let this be a clear message to any one of you out there, whether you are Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa, Fulani, to keep your dirty, stinking mouth name out of Igboho, because Igboho is not your problem. Your problem is to deal with the Fulani invasion across all your cities and villages and defend yourself, as T.Y. Danjuma says, because Tinubu is not going to defend you, and many of you might die if you continue to allow Fulani to invade your home and towns. Tinubu is also after Igboho. If Tinubu had the privilege to pick Igboho today, he would detain Igboho. We know that because Tinubu hatred for Igboho is 100%. I can tell you that because I am behind the scene, and we know what Tinubu is planning for Igboho as well. But all these will not scare Igboho to go ahead with Baba Akintoye at the appropriate time to lead the Yoruba 2025 mega rally that we are calling for. Whether Tinubu likes it or not, Tinubu doesn't own Yoruba land. Yoruba land belongs to every single one of us. Nigeria was not there when Yoruba has been in existence for thousands of years. Tinubu himself has nothing less than 30 years on his line. So Igboho and Baba Akintoye will go ahead, with you or without you, whether Tinubu that has never favored Igboho, whether Tinubu will do whatever he needs to do, we will go ahead and do what we need to do to bring back what it used to be, the glory days of Yoruba people that has been known for civilization, according to Professor Adebanji Akintoye in his book, Yoruba People. So if you are talking, this Fulani woman, we want you to shut up your mouth because Igboho is not your mate. Deal with the Fulani invasion, which you are not going to, because you're a Fulani woman as well. We know that. We know how you have all invaded Hausa land in 1804. We will defend Yoruba land with our blood. Igboho will do so, so shall I do so that millions of Yoruba people will defend Yoruba land. And we say this ahead. If you like, do whatever you want to do, continue to bring these stupid things out. We will attack it back, but for now, to all sons and daughters of Yorubas, go and prepare. The Fulani agenda are working on all manners and different areas. And before I go, like I promised you, I will just give you just a sneak view of what we know from the abstract of the European Union, because I'll be doing a special program on it at an appropriate time. But the title of that says, Sunday Adeyemo Igboho. This report was drafted on the 20th of October 2022. I will only give you the summary so that you can understand that if you, gullible Yoruba, says Igboho is illiterate, he doesn't know what he's doing, well, at least he has not committed crime that the European Union that have investigated him can put out today. Sunday Adeyemo Igboho is an activist advocating for the independence of the Yoruba nation. He gained prominence in January 2020 when he issued a 7-day ultimatum to the Fulani community to leave the Southwest region following the assassination of a politician. On the 1st of July 2021, the Department of State Security DSS raided his residence, killing 2 associates and arresting 12 others. He was later arrested at Cotonou Airport while fleeing to Germany and prosecuted for criminal association. After 8 months in detention, he is currently under judicial supervision in Benin Republic. But we know today he has become a free man. Remember, this was put together in 2022. Abstract. Sunday Igboho is a prominent activist campaigning for the independence of Yoruba nation. Like I said earlier, he gained popularity in January 2020 when he gave the Fulani a 7-day ultimatum to leave Igboho village after the murder of a politician. On July 1st, we know that the DSS and other security agencies and militias wanted to attack him and kill him, but he escaped without any injury on him. He was on his way to Germany when he was stopped because the DSS has labeled him as a wanted man today. Benin Republic have thrown that into the bin because it's as useless as Nigeria it is. Now, this biography and also campaign for Yoruba nation, like I said, I will leave all that for another day. The raid on Igboho'S house, these are just some of the subtitles. The raid on Igboho'S, Sunday Igboho'S Adeyemo's resident and arrest. Detention of Sunday Igboho in Benin Republic. All these and many more prove that even the Europeans could not find anything against him. And that is how far I can take you this afternoon. If you come across the message, pass it on to another Fulani prostitute, another bomb bastard that think that they can destroy the image, the name that has become a global name across the world. Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho and Baba Akintoye will go ahead and lead the mega rally so that Yoruba people can be free from the bondage and the shackles of the Fulani that wants to take our land and dip the Quran into the Atlantic Ocean. Have a very good afternoon. I speak this afternoon on behalf of Dr. Chief Sunday Igboho as a spokesman. My name is Olayomi Koiki. And today is the 21st of May, 2025, just coming off to 1600 hours. God bless Igboho. God bless Babakitoye. God bless all sons and daughters of Yoruba. Go and prepare yourself as we await patiently the announcement date of the 2025 mega rally. And we will do it with you or without you. For those of you that want to support, let's continue to work towards the support through the appropriate channel. For those of you that doesn't want to support, we leave you, but that will not stop the quest of the self-determination of the Yoruba people. I'm also Olayomi Koiki, your last man standing.